My TV 53 News at 8:30 is digging deeper right now.
Well, thanks for joining us for My TV 53 News at 8:30. I'm Austin Reed. Connect with us on Facebook, Instagram, or YouTube at My TV 53. We have an author that is going to be joined via Zoom here in just a second, but her name is Melanie Sypherd, and one of the books that she's promoting tonight is 365 Days of Self-Love. So we're going to talk all about that right now. So Melanie, thank you so much for joining us here on My TV 53 News at 8:30.
Thank you so much, Austin, for having me.
Now, where are you coming from? You're somewhere in the Zoom world.
I am actually in Southern California.
Okay. Oh, so you're not too far from us.
No, not too far. Not too far.
All right. So tell me, let's start from the very beginning. Give us kind of your background story and then explain why you kind of decided to become an author.
Okay. Well, first of all, I was an avid book reader. I loved books. I've always loved books. Hearing stories, telling stories, watching movies. I just love the idea of storytelling. And I think it was when I was in my early teens that I decided to do a creative writing class. And I started to explore the idea of creating my own stories on paper. First, of course, it started with poetry. And then from there, I guess it became short stories. And later in life, because I stepped away from it for a little bit because I became a teacher and a mother and all of those things that kind of put, I guess, that creative writing on the shelf. But I decided to start an after-school program. And in that after-school program, we needed funding because it wasn't funded by the schools. The schools mostly fund athletics and what have you. But we needed money. I wanted to take my students to activities and experiences that we didn't have like the tangible money for. So my creative juices started to take that position once again in my life. And so I started writing plays and what have you and putting them on at school. And it was open to the public to come and see. And then 2020 happened. And all of that came to a halt, as you know. The world shut down. And I decided to keep my creative juices flowing. I enrolled in a master writing class with KMP Entertainment, where I started to explore the possibility of doing this professionally. And from there, it kind of took off. But the initial start of me has always been in books and reading and loving reading. And then it just went into writing. So that's where it started.
So what is this 365 Days of Self-Love all about?
Well, I have to make one correction, and I believe it's on my part. It's 365 days of mindful self-love.
Mindful self-love. Okay.
Mindful self-love. And I have to say that because the idea of the book was about being mindfully present with how we love ourselves. Because we, as most people, and I'm just going to generalize the whole population of people, are mostly taught to give love, always giving love to the outside, to the people outside of ourselves. And we hardly pay attention to how we're loving ourselves. And so for me, it was really important because I had been raised to be a people pleaser. I had been raised to give to everyone, and I would always just save, the biggest slice of the pie for everybody else and then just get whatever remained, for myself. And after I started to explore the idea of how am I loving myself, the book kind of birthed itself. Like, why are you not doing these things for yourself? Why are you not loving yourself? Why are you always taking the last piece of the pie when you clearly want the biggest piece for yourself? Why do you do that? And so the book came out of that. The book came out of making it intentional every single day. How are you loving yourself? How did you love yourself today? You did this, that, and the other for all these other people, but how did you love you? Did you pay attention to your wants? Did you pay attention to your needs? And so the book came That's really how it came out. The book came out of me like that. And so it is a guided prompt book where I discuss what I did for myself for 365 days each day, and how that impacted myself and how I felt about myself and how I grew into accepting my own worth and my own love for me.
To look back from, where you were on day one, what was that like?
It was really eye-opening, honestly. It really was, because I got to see all the conditioning. Like I think in page 1, I actually wrote that I cried, that I allowed myself to cry, and how that felt, because I grew up in a family where crying was seen as a weakness. Like, to actually cry, it meant in my household that you weren't holding up your, I guess, ability to control situations and what have you. And to see myself as crying, that was being too sensitive to this, to that, and not allowing myself the ability to purge whatever that emotional baggage was. And so I just allowed myself to cry. And as I progressed with each day of what I did, I could really start to see myself coming into an acceptance of myself. And that's really what love is. Love is unconditional love is allowing one's flaws, if you think of it as a flaw, because I now don't think of it as a flaw, but if you allow yourself to just be who you are and accepting that and loving all of it, the sides that aren't perfect, and what is perfect anyway? Who wrote the book on perfect? So yeah, that because I could see the growth. I could see the growth in myself.
Tell me a little bit about what your readers are saying, and who is the perfect person to pick this up?
Everybody on the planet is perfect to pick this up, because this is a book for you. It's a journal, actually, for you, where you get to write like I did. What did you do for yourself today? Like, again, we're so conditioned to give our love away to everyone else, to help them, to empower them. But what did you do for you? And to really be mindfully present about what you do for you. And so everybody on the planet is a fit for this book. There's not one person on the planet that's not a fit for this. Everyone should. And the book is yet to be released. We're actually launching it in November, but it is available on Barnes & Noble in pre-order. So you can pre-order the book now. It won't be released, though, until November.
Perfect gift for the holidays.
Perfect timing, as usual. So
yes. Yeah. What's next for you as an author now?
Well, I'm already, of course, as a creative, you're always doing something. So
Yeah.
I've already got at least 3 more stories that I'm working on, and I don't even know why I'm doing this, because usually you take one project at a time. You do that one project and then you move on to the next. But right now I've just been guided to do these 3 stories. So I've got a second installment of my first book. My first book is The Patio, which is a love story. And I'm doing the second installment of that currently. I'm also doing a couple of screenplays that I'm writing. And, it's just, I'm a writer. I'm a writer, Austin, so I'm always writing something. So that's what's next. I'm writing.
That means that you have to come back on next project.
Of course, as soon as possible.
Journey to imagination.com. Is that how people can learn more?
Yes. And I'm currently updating my website, and I say currently as we speak, so that I can get all of my projects on there so that the public will be able to purchase directly from there. But currently they are able to purchase from Barnes & Noble or wherever books are sold. You can buy it on Amazon and all of those places.
Awesome. Well, Melanie, good to meet you via Zoom. Thank you so much for your time. Really appreciate it. And this is a perfect gift for the holidays. Anything else that you wanted to throw out there before we say goodbye?
Yes. One other thing, love yourself. Love yourself first. I think, again, that self-love is the most important love that we can actually do, because what I found in my journey is once I really started loving me and paying attention to me, it made the love for everyone else that much better, that much bigger, that much greater, and much more easy to express. So learn to love you first.
All right. And you heard it first here on MyTV 53. Melanie, thank you again.
Thank you so much.
I'm Austin Reed, and you're watching MyTV 53 News at 8:30. We'll be back with more coming up in just a bit. Hang tight.
This is MyTV 53 News.